I now spent 200 real-life hours playing in this Create Minecraft world. Without ever really leaving this island, we've now built ships, flying ships, and a building block factory that makes every block my dark soul can desire. As my steampunk city grew in size, we discovered TNT cannons, regular cannons, and tactical ballistic proximity mine creepers. So join me on this journey of over 500 Minecraft in-game days, as we break open Minecraft Create mode before it breaks or opens me. I have run out of bricks. I've been building with nothing but bricks for like this entire let's play, which is why we're gonna build a factory that produces building blocks, including the bricks, because my addiction must be fed. We'll make gravel, sand, clay, terracotta, all out of the single cobblestone generator. Is such a thing possible?
Yes.
Also, a few people pointed out that on my andesite shop, there isn't actually the word andesite spelled up top, there's only andesite. That's because there's just not enough space on the sign for the full word. And yeah, we could expand the sign, but it would make it uneven, it's a whole thing. Don't worry though, I appear to have found a solution. We're just gonna use his full name. Here we go, Andrew website. Everybody will immediately know exactly what this shop sells. The way I did this sign, by the way, is from the supplementaries, I'm pretty sure, also mode, and these are the notice boards. You can put inside them a written book, maybe a pattern, maybe a map. So if you put a book and quill, even unsigned one, into the thing, into the box here, then voila, it does its best to display what was written in it. So that means that if you write a written book with only one letter in it, then it will display that letter as big as it can. It's pretty brilliant, quite frankly, and it is very helpful for doing what we're doing here. With that out of the way, we need to start crafting, because by golly, we will need a lot of those giant crusher wheels today. Walking back from the recipe pile, it is pretty simple to figure out what is it we want to do here. Brick is obviously just smelted clay balls, and clay balls we can smelt using the bulk blasting, using the fans. Clay balls themselves can be acquired from a few different spots, one of which is a 5% chance when crushing gravel through the crusher wheels. That is also how you get sand. But you can also have a much higher chance, a 25% one, when washing sand via the fan washing, meaning that we can basically make a farm that produces cobblestone, crushes it into gravel, then crushes gravel to produce sand, and then washes sand to produce clay balls. What's more importantly, we can then also smelt sand to produce glass, or hot sand to produce soul sand. And soul sand itself could be smelted into scoria or bulk washed into nether quartz and gold nuggets, though very small percentage of those. So this is once again going to be a giant tower of priority shenanigans, all leading up to a single cobblestone generator, which, now to think about it, is pretty much what all of my farms up until now have been. Well, that should be 8 separate crushers with the giant wheels, because you need 2 of them per crusher. I'm gonna go fetch the drills. You can tell I've been hanging out on an island because the sky blockiness of my playthrough is just all over the place. There is no reason why I can't just go and grab all these materials from the outside world, but it's just so much more fun to actually make factories and manufactories and buildings for it. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna keep doing that. Okay, I gotta figure something out here, so let's give this a try. These are brass tunnels. That's not what I wanted to craft. Yeah, this is a brass tunnel, and these are the brass funnels. Wow, one letter off, what a mistake. Okay, let's test this out. We got a conveyor belt, we got the brass belt funnel. I'm gonna put a funnel here and a funnel here. The question here is, can these funnels actually enter items as well as they are at receiving them? And let's go. It passes by for some reason. Even though, check this out, it distinctly supposed to take them in. Huh. I am very confused. Oh, I am not very confused anymore. Check this out. They have a little directional triangle on top of them. That's how you know. That's how you know. Okay, game, let's try this again. We're gonna put in one of these. And there we go. There we go. Oh my god, this makes life so much easier. This contraption is going to be so much easier to make thanks to this absolutely overpowered dynamic. Okay, cool. Awesome. Wonderful. I'll need a boiler. Okay, this has to be the dumbest boiler I've made yet. That's absolutely gonna be an episode where we make a power station based on superheated blazes. This is actually like 2 boilers, because no matter what I do, you can't seem to get the heat higher than 1 notch with just the campfires. And I only have a couple of blaze burners on me, and even if I had something more, I don't really have a system in mind right now to have blaze burners be not like even superheated, but just heated in the first place. So I just made 2 boilers. It's literally easier than trying to figure out a bigger one. And now one of these is absolutely going to go onto the cobblestone generator, while another will be using for the crushers. My god, crushers require a lot of energy, surprisingly so. Oh no, I ran out of lava for my cobblestone generator. If only there was some sort of place where I could get it. By god! Is that a lava farm? How convenient! I am dead serious. Every single time I get to use something that I previously made, it warms my heart so much. It's always so cool. Okay, my plan for this area is that I'm gonna build a kind of a segmented building. Each segment is gonna be 5 blocks wide and have a chest down the middle. So this is gonna be the cobblestone chest. Here I may or may not add a stone one. Here I'm pretty sure it's gonna be gravel, and here I'm gonna have sand. Now naturally I want gravel and sand right next to one another in case I ever want to get into concrete. And yep, could we make concrete by hand? Or rather, not by hand, automatically. The answer is I'm pretty sure yes. The problem with that is that while concrete powder obviously is very easily converted via washing, I don't want to automatically farm all of the dyes for it, so I'm not gonna bother for the time being. If we ever decide to make an automated concrete factory, we can always get a separate dye farm and then feed these 2 farms together. So priority for cobble is to fill out this chest, fill out this vault, and then go further into the being converted to gravel, which is the segment that I want to build now. Then once the gravel is filled, obviously we're gonna get something of the sand area. Sand is gonna be made into clay, and then finally clay we maybe will actually smelt into bricks. Actually, we will have to smelt and pack it into bricks, so it's gonna be a little bit complicated fitting it all in. Yeah, the segments are definitely not gonna hold the actual areas that we're using. The rotational speed controllers are gonna be the death of me, by the way, because I really constantly want to just crank it to maximum and see what happens. What appears to happen is it go! Look at that! Look at it go! Something's telling me that the second wheel needs to be spinning also. Okay, with 2 wheels it actually does not function at all. So we need to lower our appetites for the time being. And now it's spinning the wrong direction. Good job, everybody! Task failed successfully. Okay, we need to test this out, so I'll be removing the safety hopper. Everybody brace yourself. We're using a weighted ejector to move items around, which is always, absolutely always, an adventure. Look at it go! This is incredible. And it is very tempting right now to just not even make a second set of grinding wheels and just yeet the gravel back into the same grinder and then separate by the output. God, that sounds so cool. That sounds so enticing. Yeah, it will get clogged up, and either only output gravel or only output sand. It just gotta be a nightmare. So okay, look, I did craft 14 more crushing wheels. This wouldn't even be a discussion at all right now if I didn't run out of stress units on my 2 lowest boilers. I'll need to make some more. All right, crank it. That's too much. Crank it a little less. There we go. This makes me so happy. Okay, as a test run, I'm gonna grab a stack of gravel and just yeet it down here. Oh, there it goes. Oh no! Okay, what we got? We got some sand, we got some flint, and we got some clay balls. Okay, cool. Wonderful. One, clay balls, perfectly fine. We love that, we want that. So that's why this item vault is back here. We actually want to filter out each of these 3 items. So, yeah. For one, I remember there being something called smart shoots. Yep, there it is. And I'm pretty sure that I can set up a filter for a smart shoot. But here's the thing. I don't think I need that. Rather, I don't think anyone needs that at all, ever. Because, well, the brass funnels, they already have filters on them. And I can absolutely just do this. And now I just make this make this into the filter, and voila, this should work for me. Yeah. There we go. Hop, there we go. That's the sand. And if we add a second chute, then maybe some clay balls are gonna fall. Yep, there we go. Wonderful. So we would just need a smart chute for, for sand, a smart chute for gravel, and a smart chute for flint. And is the gravel one gonna be pointed directly into a lava block? Yes. I'm gonna go grab a lava block. Any excuse to come here, I swear. It's so fun. Oh, check this out, check this out, check this out. So, we can filter a brass funnel, right? And I was like, wait, can a brass funnel even get something not from a conveyor belt or something like that? And, well, I mean, you can probably tell by my triumphant tone. But if we put some sand down here, and that sand gets dropped here, then we start piling up sand down here-ish, and that sand converts into clay balls, and only then, after it's clay balled, does it get here, into the chest. I am very tempted, and you know what, I actually will, now that I realize. I'm gonna just remove all the safety hoppers, because, like, safety, who needs it? And make the farm kind of focus on producing clay balls for a moment. It may or may not be primarily because I really want to see the weighted ejectors weightily eject. Yay! Look at them go! Oh my god, this is the best! Are you claying, son? She do! And also I need to remember where all the safety hoppers were. Yeah. Real struggle in here. If this stops working, it's definitely my fault, but please don't point that out. Yeah, sure, invite me to your modded server. I totally am not gonna just sit there using vanilla mechanics like water streams instead of conveyor belts the entire time. Part of me really wants to think that I'm this way because I just know Minecraft, like vanilla Minecraft, through and through, and not because this is me, like, actively refusing to learn new mechanics and to learn to use them efficiently. You know what, let me know in the comments. I'd love to have a poll on which it is. Yeah, you won't believe me, but this is actually all adding up. All of this will work the way I want it to, outside of producing the one single thing that I actually want to produce. And that being, of course, the brick blocks. I don't actually have right now a way to channel clay balls from this vault and onto this conveyor belt, because that conveyor belt later will subdivide using brass tunnels, because that's what they actually can do. I honestly cannot do it, but I have found a use for them. Using brass tunnels, I can divide whatever's on this conveyor belt into 2 separate conveyor belts and then sort them by, well, being smelted. But here's the trick though, here's the absolute galaxy brain. I need to put clay balls as well as clay blocks onto this conveyor belt right now. And the item vault with them is one single block away from the conveyor belt. It would be so perfect if we could just like reach into it, grab clay balls from it, put them onto the belt right here. Oh my god, I'm about to make the single saddest weighted ejector ever. Okay, buddy, shift right click here. and you'll be standing here. And here's your brass funnel for all the clay balls you'll be receiving. Alright, Fox. I got the final brain genius moment. You can see I installed redstone link all over this place. These are all receivers, except... yeah, this one's meant to be. Basically, I added a bunch of redstone links on hoppers, meaning to prevent them from sucking in. So, meaning that as soon as I flip this lever, every single stockpile will be disabled, and instead of stockpiling into these chests, from which I will be, you know, later taken out, everything will go directly into producing brick and clay. So, let's flip it and hope that it freaking works! Fingers crossed. I mean, this is a good sign. This is a... it's so fun. I like it too much. Let's go visit the saddest ejector. Is it doing its job? Hello, little baby. Oh, it's not. It's not doing its job because, yeah. This press is hogging the connection currently. Why aren't you? Nope, there it is. I did it! Yes! Power! One block. It's just one block. Oh my god, it's so stupid. And my god, that 12% chance of sand becoming clay is really coming in. Well, I was gonna say clutch, but the opposite of clutch. It's ruining the entire procession. Come on, dudes. We need so much more and so much faster, but there's not really anything I can do outside of setting up like a bigger boiler for everything, I guess. But even that won't help. More speed is really not gonna, you know, make the 12% chance any faster. And I did try and give more speed to the cobblestone generator up there. Didn't work. It just started spewing cobblestone all over the place, and it was just really unpleasant. So for now, I think we're just gonna hope that running this in the background will eventually fill in everything that we wanted to fill in. But now that I think about it, there is something we can make to at least speed up the brick production. We can take this redstone link, connect it to the chest with all the brick in it, and not let this factory enter the stockpile mode until it's done making the bricks. You can't start filling in the item vaults until you're done crafting brick blocks, little missy. Oh my god, I started talking to it. This one's gonna need a name as well, isn't it? I mean, once you name your, you know, andesite alloy factory and your website, you gotta have a name for your brick things. I mean, the first name obviously gonna be Breachard, because that's what brick is short for. Well, luckily this will have a nice AFK session, or at least a nice running in the background session, now that it's all more or less feature complete, and I have to start building it. In fact, that building session, that AFK session is gonna be twice as long, because I honestly don't think that we can use a symmetry wand on this baby. I mean, it's way too complicated and it's way too risky to clog up. So, good luck to me, I guess. Let's get started. And that's enough building for today. Oh my god, this... I wish I actually did use the symmetry wand, because now that I look at it, this line would probably be fine as a mirror one. Still, I really want this build to look good from this side as well as that one, so it's gonna be a little bit of figuring it out. Unfortunately though, or fortunately, I still want this episode to be out on time, so I'm gonna just pause this for the time. Listen, I came back and finished the airship. I absolutely am coming back to this. But in the meantime, there's a few things that I'm really happy with. For one, the build is functioning, and that's pretty cool. For two, I have set up basically a very clear indication of what's supposed to go in what chest, and it is going to be very convenient to be able to just grab materials from here without having to enter a building. Another cool thing that we did here, or at least will be doing, because I only really have one display link on me. Well, I'll be displaying the amount of materials for every single material over here. So the fill level of terracotta, for example, is already here as 21%. That is 21% of a single Minecraft chest, mind you. So it's not exactly, but it is pretty cool. We'll be doing much more with that later, because we have vaults for everything, remember. The next thing that I'm really happy with is that I have this little control panel. I got the terracotta production line switched off or on, which I will definitely need to look into and make a little bit nicer. There's the cobblestone generator switch, which pretty much disables the entire farm once and for all, because obviously. And of course we have the stockpile mode, which, yeah, when deactivated, makes everything produce very gradually. And when activated, channels everything directly into bricks, which is what we want right now. Oh, and the best, by far, the best part that I got to do with this factory is this. I'm blocking off the spread of the fire from the fan using a black bot that has the "careful, this is flammable" sign on it. I'm really happy with the build. I'm very enamored with what it's gonna be once I'm proper finished with the building itself, but the factory part, I love it. This is chef's kiss.
It's a total fabrication.
It's really nice that we're able to produce all of these materials, even if at some point I entirely forgotten that I also wanted to hunt the sand into soul sand and then also get it smelted into glass. So I think we'll be building some sort of a sneaky underground conveyor belt to yeet the sand from here and put it into a couple other factories. Today in Create, I need more blocks to build with. And luckily I can get them if I just expand my building block factory building. And also it's looking kinda ugly, just like all exposed like that. Which is why today I will be building the building block factory building. After 4 takes, I was this close to just hiring somebody else to say that line for me. Last episode I have not quite finished my building block factory. Nobody called me out in the comments so far, but I completely forgot that I actually wanted the sand to not only get turned into clay balls, but also the sand to get haunted into soul sand, and then soul sand get washed into quartz. Well, and you know, the entire not having more than one wall is a little bit of an issue, I gotta do admit. And as you can tell, between the videos I've not quite done any progress on it. I have optimized it quite a bit with some more brass materials, but one thing I did do is I picked out a name for our boy. Check this out. Richard Gennady. Building block assembly, or known primarily by his short name, Brick Generator. So obviously we're gonna build the rest of the building today, and hey, look at that! We actually have 100% of more or less everything on here. The vat with clay balls is the only thing not filled to completion, which is exactly why the cobble generator is still generating. So the gist of what we're doing here is we're expanding the operation. We're absolutely going to be soling and sanding. If this little sand vault that I have does in fact have enough space for another output. And I'm pretty sure that, yep, down here by this hopper, we can totally add another chute. Okay, we're shooting down. We're gonna get on a conveyor belt and we're gonna haunt that conveyor belt. Or we might want some glass as well, so maybe conveyor belt in it haunting is not exactly the perfect idea. In a perfect world, mind you, I would have this here chest, like have another module exactly like this over here, so that would be like the soul sand area, and then another one over here, like, hey, look at that, that's a glass. And yeah, I don't see why not, honestly. We have been pretty successful on our production bit, and it's not like we're running low on building materials. The only problem really here is the distribution. The idea that, like, will we ever make any bricks once we're siphoning the sand out of this? So we need to make sure that everything can get clogged up, at least eventually. As long as producing enough sand and enough, you know, glass will clog up the system, the thing will kind of prevent itself from overflowing. But just in case, I actually do want to create Something very vanilla redstone and at the same time entirely modded, so let's go do that. I got these stockpile switches more or less on every single vault. So what I want to do is I want to put a separate, not on this direction though, a separate redstone link out of every single one, feeding into a common array of sorts. This one, for example, is gonna be cobble clay balls, because this is the one that produces clay balls out of cobblestone. Okay, so this one tracks if the clay ball area is filled, this one tracks if the sand area is filled, and they are both feeding into these redstone torches. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna give these redstone torches a common redstone dust line to activate. Once the vault is fully full, this torch will get disabled. So imagine for a moment if the clay balls are also overflowing. That would mean that this torch here is also disabled, and that means that this line is also disabled as well. This is essentially, I'm pretty sure it's either an AND or NAND logical gate. And the logic here is that we're gonna hook up the disabler for the main cobblestone line, for the main cobblestone generator, to this NAND system. In short, when all of them are filled, the cobblestone generator is gonna be automatically disabled, saving the server quite a few entities being constantly generated. And listen, I'm not one for like super luck busting, I'm kind of up there, but this is kind of the least I can do after creating just so much lag, oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, this is making me so happy. I don't know why, it's just so cool to have a big contraption and have like a control panel for it. Naturally, the only actual control in this panel is that I can turn on and turn off the cobblestone generator remotely, but that is still very freaking cool, right? I will also need like a couple more of these over here, but that's the good spot. It's expandable. Some people are using this technology to make code blocks. I'm using this technology to unmake mistakes. Also check out what I actually found out. You can color belts. That's so cool. I mean, it's pretty great and it kind of seems useful for when you're trying to actually differentiate and sort and that kind of stuff. But for me this is completely overkill, because it's already pretty clear what's gonna go where. And it's not even that I'm that good at labeling, mind you, it's just, you know, I'm not making contraptions that are that complicated. That being said, this is actually a kind of a perfect opportunity to use up all those tunnels I made last episode. These are perfect for evenly splitting material, and there just happens that we do need some splitting done. Because one part is going to go into the smelterator, and the other half is gonna go into the hunterator. And the best part is that the way this works is that once one of them blocks off, the other one is just gonna keep functioning, at least according to the multiple outputs available split kind of a distribution. Basically, we're fine with all of these as long as we don't pick out synchronized outputs, because that's the one mode where if one conveyor stops, then the other one stops as well. And we kind of want the opposite of that. Okay, this fan is gonna smelt, this fan is gonna hunt, and will this lava block be a problem? We will find out! Okay, the hunter seems to be hunting, we have the lava cooking. Let's give this a go and see what happens. And yeah, I did make a boiler in the meantime. I don't know, it seems perfectly safe. Alright, so this is the simplest part, so I don't actually expect anything to go awry. We're splitting down the middle, we're filling in the glass, we're filling in the soul sand. Or at least I thought so. Now here's the thing, it does say on the fan's ponderation screen that the fan's speed, the speed at which the fans are spinning, doesn't actually affect the speed at which things process using the fans at all. So this is I only made the fans as fast as I did because I was concerned that we will not reach those 3 blocks or something like that. And so far so good, we got a stack of glass and we got a stack of soul sand, which will now be splitting into soul sand itself, because you never know when you're gonna need it, a bunch of quartz and a bunch of gold. And a bunch of gold is quite an optimistic prediction, if you ask me. Gold has a 2% chance for a nugget when washed out of the soul sand. It's not gonna be a productive gold farm, but it's gonna be more gold than we had before I have installed this. So I have high hopes for this. And here, this is a mega brain operation, because check this out. Originally, I wanted to also split this as a kind of a gateway, because we need to wash our soul sand and get the quartz and the gold. But here's the thing, we can't do that. Because the entire situation here is that the entire system here is relying on the product to not enter this gate unless washed. And if we just put the soul sand down here, then the soul sand will just pass through this gate easily, pass into it and not get washed at all while inside. So we need to block off, so we need a filter. But if we filter it out, then only the quartz is gonna come by, while gold is gonna be eventually piling up on this conveyor belt, blocking off the entire thing. So what are we gonna do? Well, I seem to have come up with a solution, and if it's gonna work, I'm gonna be over the flipping moon. Check this out. We're gonna remove this, we're gonna grab a regular vanilla chest, because freaking obviously, have you met me? And we're gonna grab a brass funnel. This brass funnel, we're gonna put down here, and we're gonna, set it to a triangle inwards. This way we can filter the same conveyor belt into quartz on this side, and into gold on this side. Which I will definitely be doing as soon as I actually get a gold nugget in my inventory. There you go, I don't have the time to wait for this farm to produce any. Okay, a lot of this situation is currently hinging on the idea that I'm smart. So let's see if that is such. This goes here, and we're going. There's a bit of glass in this chest, and we are filling in this chest with soul sand, which I now realize is kind of a mistake, because this bit here prefers, is set to prefer the left part before the right part. So until this chest is absolutely filled with soul sand, this is not gonna even try to process anything else. Okay, I'm gonna manually go in here and yeet a couple things onto the conveyor. I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be a little bit more fun for everybody involved. I don't think the rain is helping with any of the washing, mind you. Oh! Did you see it? The first quartz! And it is coming in big patches, because yes, the chance that the quartz is being made is actually not a 1-to-1 chance. Check this out. It's 12%, but it's a 12% of producing 4 at a time. So, you know, it's pretty up there. I'm pretty happy with it. If only gold was a little bit faster as well, but I guess it's gonna take a while before we see any nuggets. Oh my god! Wow. I think I managed to do the opposite of jinxing it. That's a first. Okay, final improvement here. I did cave another couple things. So, the middle chest is gold now. That is because we want the gold to actually pile up, and I realized that I can do more with quartz. So, here's the thing. Right now, if the quartz starts overflowing, like it obviously already is, then the gold will stop coming through either. But we actually do want it to kind of maybe run in the background, make more gold for us, whatever. Gold is actually really useful for mechanizing and for some of the things, precision mechanisms, for example, are made with golden shit. So to keep making gold, we need to keep getting rid of quartz, because otherwise this will clog up and that's not good time for anyone. So obviously I realized we can press quartz into blocks and have a separate storage for quartz placement. That is 4 times the amount of quartz that we're storing in here, and mind you, yes, blocks of quartz cannot be really made back into regular quartz, not that I remember, except they totally can be, but we're not going to bother with it. It's not worth it, absolutely. If we need some competitors, we can always just go convert some more sand into another quartz, it's fine. But even then, eventually, this chest will start overflowing as well. So this entire system is going to get clogged up as well, and again, that's not what we want. So that is why, over here, I have a separate chute leading into a lava chamber, and oh my god, this is gonna this probably has already ruined everything down here. No. Okay, cool. Point is, I will need one more of these like little arches for a depot, and from there, well, I mean, we do need to give this a nicer looking build. And also we do need to finish this one. So I wanna say let's hit that time lapse. Man, I ran out of light gray terracotta. If only I had some place where I could get more! I love using my farms for things they were designed for. Ah, it's the best. I am genuinely impressed with myself here. This build was not gonna come easily. It's an L-shaped building with several levels of layers and several different levels of heights, with this silly corner thing, and also with a secret property that I am gonna talk about in just a moment. But trust me when I say, this was tough. When I say I am happy with this, that is impressive to me even. Because I did not think that this would hit it at all. I thought that it's just not gonna work. But looking at it now, I am almost teary-eyed because of how pleased with it I am. So why would that be? And the answer is because, well, it's the urban design. It genuinely is just the fact that this building now utilizes negative space of all the roads and all of the environment that it's in a way where you just start actively buying it, that you are in an actual city. Like, naturally what helps here a lot is that it is L-shaped, and as a result it closes off this little area that we have into its own little box. On this side you got the road, on that side you got this building, on this side you got this building. You look at it and you start feeling, just walking through the street, that you are in fact on a street. I need to and do a stream here on YouTube and just spend the entire time ironing out the pathways and the lampposts and other things that would make this environment even more city-like. Yeah, maybe getting rid of the cow farm, moving it somewhere else, kinda might be a good idea. Definitely would help with the entire Victorian city environment, but other than that, I am so happy with this. And the best part about this farm is that it's working! Look at that! We are successfully producing enough sand to reach 100%. As soon as it reaches 100%, it drops to 28, because all of the rest of the sand that's not that 28 is going down into this part of the building. And if we walk around, go over here and enter here, we'll see that all this sand is being processed, turned into soul sand, yada yada yada, all that done, and then compacted and promptly thrown away, because we are actually overflowing on quartz at this point. And all in the name of making some more gold, because guess what? Gold is right now kind of the most frustrating thing for me to get for any sort of materials, and I'm running surprisingly low on it, because that's what the generators are made out of. And that does bring me nicely to this side of the building, which you will notice is a bit plain, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So the reason why the other walls are very much walls and facades and this one is just like a blank is because on this side of the building Well, this rectangle here that I have zoned out is actually a completely different building. Liara and I planned this literal cornerstone of the community to be here since we started planning the city, since the first day, since the second episode. And as a result, this building just kind of dug into a side of it, and it will serve as a kind of basement slash first floor of what actually is gonna be the build. And we can really just dedicate the first floor to the control panel because, well, this build, not to spoil it a little bit, but still, is actually going to be our way of transporting people onto that side of the area. You can note that I have removed the bridge, and that is because Liara and I thought about it and agreed that it would make the most sense for us to, instead of having a bridge, have the pedestrians transported more or less over a hanging monorail, like in a car of some sort. Now these things aren't even like all of what we can get, by the way. We do have soul sand, which means that we can smelt it and make it into scoria or make soul sandstone. There's some extra brick materials and extra brick textures available thanks to that. So I will be trying this out and we'll be digging into that. Also, we now are making nether quartz, which naturally is, if you don't know, nether quartz and cobblestone can be made into diorite, and then diorite can be made into andesite, and also it can be all made into granite. We have basically infinite supply of granite, andesite, and diorite now. But in the meantime, I have plenty of cobblestone, I have plenty of stuff, and I have plenty of time. I can totally craft it all up manually as I need to. Because that's another thing about this farm, and generally farms that I make. The thing about these like little deposits with chests and whatnot is that once you take out cobblestone out, or like once you take out the product, you really can't put it back in. That's the ultimate curse of this island. Point is, right now and right here, this is taking shape and it is getting into a really nice place where it's really starting to resemble a city, a town, and I'm really happy with that. Today in Create, we're gonna build flying machines and then develop my own. Yeah, I got this wild idea that I want a moving base, but Create Aeronautics is nowhere done and we don't have Create Interactive on this server. Will my insane idea work out? Oh, you'll see. You'll all see. This is literally Create Aeronautics at home. This is so stupid. Now here on this server, I'm actually playing a mod pack called Create Flavored, and not Create Reflavored, which is an update to that mod pack. So if you've been wondering why my Create isn't updated, that's why. We're running a server, we're running a mod pack, updating anything might break things. But this does come with some extra caveats and an extra bonuses, like for example, some add-ons installed that I personally would never have otherwise heard of. Immersive aircraft mod. And here on Create Flavored, it is actually fully integrated with the Create recipe skin. As long as I can get an aircraft engine, I can try one of the 3 super cool things that it offers. One of which is a gyrodyne, and that sounds like a name of a villager. So my first port of call is obviously to make each of these boys and see what they actually do, even though I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be exactly what I want. I don't think gyrodyne is a fully operational battle zeppelin. Still, it does have an aircraft engine in it, so let's make a couple and see what happens. Okay, first and foremost, let me craft a bunch of propellers. They are obviously gonna be very useful for all of this. First and foremost, we'll need an aircraft engine, which is each and every engine, and something called a boiler, which is an item actually unique for this mod. So we'll need 3 heat engines, we'll need 3 steam engines, and we'll need a hydraulic engine. Luckily we have this sequence crafter of mine that will definitely help us with that. I should make myself a couple extras. I did want that flamethrower that you can make out of one. Actually, I do have literally a couple extras right here. Just chilling in my inventory. Oh my god. What other trash do I have in here? Maybe there's an entire gyrodyne in here somewhere. And naturally it freaking broke. Okay. Yeah, every engine has like a chance of not crafting. And with a heat engine, that chance is 19%, so congratulations. I don't know how, but we managed. And now it ran out of cogs. Well, good thing we salvaged that one shaft. Oh my god, I just now realized. I told it to make a heat engine and it literally gave me the shaft. Wow. That's way funnier than anything I've personally come up with on purpose. I mean, certainly right, I am using the conveyor belt made for making sweet rolls to make heat engines. I don't think that this is within its pay grade, like, at all. Alright, we have 3 heat engines. Now we just need the steam one and the hydraulic one, which is literally both just the same but a propeller and andesite. Okay, cool. We can do that. Come on, don't be a jerk. I know it's the same 20% chance, but I would rather you don't, you know. Hydraulic is the trickiest one to me, like constantly, for no good reason. It is supposed to be the cheapest. It's just the one that requires water, and luckily we have this spout installed, so that should not at all be an issue. But then again, none of this should be an issue, and yet it perpetually is. Okay, we do need to get rid of this friend though. Aim him upwards. Look, he's cheering on. He's so excited. Okay, now that we got all 3 of these, we just need the boiler. Which means, for some reason, the largest filling tank you can afford, and a blackstone blast furnace, and it has to be the blackstone one. I am genuinely questioning if this is not just some sort of a coding mistake. Why wouldn't the regular one work? The answer is because the regular one wouldn't be scary enough. Let's go get some blackstone, everyone, wherever it may be. Oh, what in the heck is this biome? The heck is this mysterious liquid? Blood bucket! Okay, cool. Perfectly normal Minecrafting going on here, nothing to see. I'm gonna switch to my andesite jetpack. Just so the escape vehicle a tiny bit faster. Please don't mention to me that it basically ran out of durability. I do not want to think about it breaking on me all of a sudden right about now. Blackstone. It has no business being in this biome. I don't care. I am grabbing just as much of it as I can carry and running back home. Oh, I could have just haunted some cobblestone for it. To do. Blackstone factory. That way I'll never forget again. Yeah, you ask me, this was not worth the effort. Here you go, boiler. Let's see our first engine come to life. I swear, if you two would have outputted me a shaft, I would have thrown the entire mod pack out the window. Alright, I got aircraft engine. Now we just need some hulls, which are just logs with iron, that we can afford that. And some aircraft sails, which is rope made with flax, and then a bunch of white sail, which is just wool. Okay, cool. Wonderful. Wool is string. String is also flax. We're perfectly fine. Let's make some more engines. Come on, everybody. We're almost out of the crafting prison, I promise you. This poor thing here has been farming flax basically since the server started, and it's been at least 100 days since, so good job, everybody. We are drowning in this stuff. So what do we want to craft first? Well, we got an airship, a biplane, or a gyrodyne. I'm pretty sure you can tell that I really want to find out what a gyrodyne is. However that is pronounced. It's sails on the side, propeller in the middle, engine here, and everything else should be hull. And in 5 to 10 business days, we should get our contraption, whatever it may be. Awesome! What is your deal? Oh my god! It's just a garden cart with wings! It really is! 0 power, keep pushing? What? What you mean? Why must I push? Okay, 62, Yep. We have liftoff! Minimum rotor speed! I invented a flying bicycle! I didn't invent this is not mine. I would be lying if I told you that this is not kind of insane. And this is right now kind of on the same level as the, as the jetpack. But other than that, I have a helicopter, and it makes me look like a complete idiot. One of those things is amusing me a lot. Can I land this without dying is my question. Do I have to resort... Actually, you know what? Let's put on my andesite jetpack and I wonder what happens if I actually just jump out of it while mid-air. Hey! Come on, eject. Oh, yeah, shift. I can't eject. Because shift just makes me fly downwards. But I gotta tell you, from first person perspective, this is actually even more entertaining somehow. I think it's in the way it tilts when it turns. That's what really gives it the immersion. I wish I could get out of it though. I looked on the mod riff page for it and I still can't find it. Okay, I'm assuming that this is default control, so dismount is bound to X. Oh my god. No, I love this. This is great. For something with such a silly name, this is great. Let's go get the other two. Okay, now let's try biplane. I can't wait. It's right here and look. It's like a fighter plane. That is so cool. I do wish we could put guns on it. Oh, dear god. Okay, it's pressing space. It's pressing space that does this. Ah! I should not be trusted with heavy machinery as such. Alright, so you do press spacebar to start it, but you don't have to hold it the entire time. And oh boy, this can definitely get really throw-uppy for people. Oh crap, yep, told you. Let's dismount. And into the water it goes, bye. And finally we have the recipe for just straight up an airship. It's a ship that's in air, like what else you want? This one's kind of the funniest because it's straight up just a plank on 6 aircraft sails. So let's see how this works out. Really the best part of this entire experience is that now when I will inevitably next time fall off from my airship, you know, the pirate one in the sky, I will have not 1, but 3 different vehicles I can use to get back up there. Okay, what is your deal? Ooh, look at it! It's tiny! It's positively tiny! Oh god, that it immediately does. It goes. Does it? Okay, cool. It is so much more eager on the liftoff than on any sort of a horizontal movement. But it also has kind of helicopter controls where you can lift and go down and it hovers. This is fascinating. If I got to choose what my custom airship is gonna move like, I would definitely pick this first and foremost. Because there just isn't going to be anything as cool as, you know, dropping by somebody and stopping your giant zeppelin in front of their base like, yo, what's up? But naturally, this is just simply not imposing enough. So let's see what we can whip up using the functionality already in the create mode. Man, we'll need some sort of a garage for this or something. I want all 3 of them on the display. This is gonna be so cool. Come on. And gracefully landing onto my ship. Ah, this is so good. Yes. Oh yeah, and also I forgot that I put this sign in here. Oh no, careful! So, all of those things, really exciting, really cool, but there's something I don't really like about them. And the one thing that I don't like is that they are pre-built for me. They are just entities that are already in the mode. I want to make something my own. I want to make something that I get to customize and decide what it's gonna look like. So, how am I gonna achieve that? Using these. This, if you don't know, is our basically day 1 minecart drill. It is made using these things, minecart contraptions essentially, and they are very, very exciting here in Create. When you have yourself a minecart cut assemble, you can put a bunch of blocks around it, glue them together, and then once you activate the redstone line for it, it will become its own contraption that can move on its own however it wants. How this thing is powered is quite confusing to me personally. Powered as long as it's moving. Something about the rail and the minecart is really helping it kinda go. And yeah, we've not been really using this to its full potential. I mean, don't get me wrong, we got the drill over here, and we got our little harvester down there, both of which Liara has set up. I have basically zero experience with setting up contraptions like that. And today, I'm going to get that experience, yeah. It's gonna be cool. So let's pick up our rails. Let's get a cut assembler. And I have an idea how to get this executed. You're gonna love it. Alright, here's the recipe. Don't ask me why I needed my own one. So obviously I wanna do one of these. We wanna put it down. And drop minecart down here. Awesome. Here's what's really cool about our drill. It will go, but unfortunately it will only go as far as the rails will go. So you have to put down all the rails yourself first. So here's my question, therefore, can we make a minecart that puts rails in front of itself? I know it's a pretty simple question that everybody who has ever played this already knows the answer to. But just trust me, I gotta figure this out myself, okay? Okay, so we're gonna put some deployer. We're gonna give it a bunch of rail. We're gonna ahaloo it all together. And now once we activate this... Okay, look at that! We got a minecart that's building its own rail. As long as there's ground on it. Okay, cool. Can't we make a minecart that also puts the ground down? I'm gonna give this one is gonna be the rail boy. And this boy that's gonna be one block below is going to be the ground boy. A boy who has been ground. That sounds horrible. No. You take the rails, you get the blocks, and the both of you get moving. Have fun. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! Yes! We got self-moving minecarts. That is already pretty brilliant. If we were to just add a couple drills, like 3, in front of this thing, we would have been golden, honestly. It would be an auto drill. A little bit more technologically advanced than that one. But then we can do this further. We can take this even further. For one, it would be nice to have our drills, our rails and our blocks be dispensed out of some sort of a container. And since these things can carry barrels, I'm just gonna give it barrels. But even that is not technologically advanced enough for us. Because by that point, we will eventually run out of barrels. Or rather, we will eventually run out of the material that's in the barrel. So we're gonna do something very, very sneaky here. We're gonna start picking up the materials that we're leaving behind. There's no way it's gonna work. But let's try and find out. Do have this thing called a plow. And the mechanical plow, well, the trick about it is that it is kind of faster than a drill. Because a drill essentially will only pick up like things after it breaks them. A plow breaks things more or less instantly, so we might be looking at something very, very exciting here. Okay, let's see, can you go? I mean, it can, so that's a success. That's if I ever saw one. I seriously glued the terracotta block to the ground instead of to the contraption. We're hitting IQ levels never before seen on the planet Earth. Actually, I now realize that I can kind of secure this a little bit nicer by setting up a filter on the deployers themselves. Let's activate this as a let's activate this as a construction, and it immediately plowed the flipping gravel. Okay, fair enough. Go though. Oh, it's not fast. I mean, it's not fast because it's on unpowered rail. Oh, okay. It is placing the thing. It's not placing the blocks because there's no blocks to be placed. So as long as it's going on an active bridge, it's gonna be fine. Yeah! Yeah, this is good! At this rate, if we were to add a couple drills to the front, we'd have a self-moving drill kind of forever. Because whatever it drills, it will also deposit it to the barrel, and then we can just tell it to use cobblestone or deep slate, and we'll never run out of cobblestone or deep slate. We'll have an infinite tunnel borer. We're not trying to do an infinite tunnel borer today, aren't we? So let's get this machine to fly, baby. I think you can already tell where this is going. See, the plow will break all the rails, but what's more interesting is that a drill will also break all the blocks. So by just attaching a drill underneath the blocks that we will be placing with our own deployers, I'm pretty sure we can get something very interesting here going on. Something that people already do with their autonomous drills, specifically to bypass lava lakes, but we'll be using it in a little bit different way. Okay, it actually refuses to move, so I'm just gonna use some Minecraft 1.2 level technology, and why can't I put them? Wait a minute. It refused to move because I accidentally glued the rail itself to the thing. No! IQ levels never before seen on the planet Earth. Okay, get back onto the Let's get a minecart with furnace because that is too funny not to try. And there it goes! Wow, look at it! Our autonomous driller and also hover machine is a go! Oh no, it's crashing into this. Yep, okay, cool. Whew. Genuinely thought that this would be more of a disaster, to be completely honest, but you get what I'm going on about, right? We have a liftoff. It did leave the ground, it's one block above. We can use this for a flying machine. I don't know how much control I'll get from out of it, but we definitely can use it to make our own flying machine. And on that flying machine, thanks to the wonder of the super glue, we can basically attach whatever. People are out there creating like the most wild stuff using the create add-ons that use Valkyrian Sky physics for actual vehicles. I'm over here putting stuff on a minecart contraption and sailing it off into the distance. 1000 IQ moves, let's heck and go! Now, there's a couple more upgrades that I want to do to our engine on this contraption before we start building up the surrounding everything of it. And this is, well, one is we're using regular rails, that is unacceptable, we will absolutely be upgrading to the powered ones. And for two is we're gonna use slime blocks instead of ground. Is that going to work? Good question. My logic here is pretty simple. Slime blocks can have rails on it, and honey blocks cannot, unfortunately. And why I'm only looking at honey blocks and slime blocks is going to be pretty self-evident the moment I do this. Slime blocks and honey blocks are insta-break. So that's my logic, really. I want this contraption to have as little effort, as little trouble breaking the material the rails are on as possible. Welcome to the most bizarre slime block contraption possible in Minecraft, because frankly, it having slime blocks anywhere on it doesn't even matter, because the slime blocks are just kind of not doing anything here. Hilariously not really doing anything, they are just being placed and being harvested, they are not participating in the movement. Though maybe you could put something together really cool if you combined the regular vanilla Minecraft slime block capability with the create contraptions of sorts. I really wanna try that, but maybe later. Right now, I'm just gonna add a seat to the contraption, and yeah, let's see how it's working. Okay, get this activated, and it left. Wow, that's impressive. What the heck happened here? Do slime blocks all of a sudden also function like super glue does? Kinda useless for my case, mind you, but pretty flippin' funny. Okay, let's try this in a vacuum. Minecart here. Yep, that goes, and what is any of this? It did go for like half a second, and then it just decided, nah, I'm gonna leave, and left downwards? Yeah, I think the issue 100% is that the slime blocks decided that they're gonna be glued together to the thing. I mean, I don't see why this shouldn't work. Alright, I'm gonna try and start it as not a contraption, and then I'm gonna make it into a I'm gonna start it as not a contraption on solid ground. And once it's a contraption, that's when it's gonna go with the slime blocks. That way the slime blocks cannot become part of the contraption. Okay, it's gonna start out a little slow because it needs to break through cobalt deep slate. But what happens as soon as we go into the slime block overdrive? Oh, look at that! Heck yeah! This is what I'm talking about! This is what I'm talking about! Can I actually ride it? I can! It's so loud. It's so frustratingly loud. We may be driving towards some trees. Gonna be an issue. Let's see. Can I? Yep, I can. I'm just moving. I'm just wish moving. It's fine. Here's what I want to try though. I want to try and stop it without losing the entire contraption, without having to pick it up. So what if I? No. Did it? Oh my god, it did. I stopped it midair. It's now blocks again. I have put it into a base. I put the brakes on it. We avoided the collision. Yes. And then I just reactivate it. And look at that, it goes. I mean, it really shouldn't because there's trees in front of it. It will crash, but other than that, wow. No, get picked up. Okay, cool. I can totally do whatever the heck I want with the outer shell of it, as long as down the middle there's a tiny hole in the engine compartment where I can place regular blocks. Dude, I'm so excited, because as long as we leave these blocks in the middle as just blocks, as not something that's like part of the contraption, actually I would guess that this is about as fast as a regular slime block flying machine. So at some point we gotta try and put a contraption on a slime block flying machine somehow. And engine versus 2. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm gonna push you a little bit. Oh crap. And I'm gonna just assume a position and see where that leads us. Wow. Wow. Alright, we're picking up all the redstone torches. We're activating the redstone rail, the powered rail, using them. We're doing everything. I love this. We're moving, and we're moving pretty fast, but I do still feel like maybe we could push it a little bit faster, he said, pulling out his minecart with furnace like a freaking heathen. Okay, oh crap. I forgot that jetpack only goes like 27 blocks above the nearest ground. Bye, I guess. Hold on. I have something for it now. I have something for this. Come on. It's not too late. Run. Can I, if not land, then at least dismount onto... No, what is... game? Server? But, okay, apparently it's still corporeal. Okay. Just, if I just... Back into the engine, let's try this again. And we dismount, and we... And it's invisible. Good job, everybody, we did it. Hop! Well, my plane's about to drown for the second time, but, other than that, 100% successful operation. Actually, I have no idea. Can I just turn it around and tell it to go that way? Yeah! Seems to even have enough slime for it. Now, where did my plane go? I have no idea how I'm gonna stop this. But to be completely honest with you, I'm just happy I'm far away from it and don't have to listen to it fly, because... By god, there's some stupid sounding engines in Minecraft. That one just might be the most disgusting one. Yep. Coming in hot. Just a little bit more, and... How? Okay. I guess walls are just not an issue for this thing. Gang, I don't think I can control it anymore. It has become too powerful. So, now that I have the engine compartment perfectly figured out, I can actually do quite a bit of cool things. For example, what I can do is, I can kind of utilize whatever blocks I want anywhere around the one place where the slime blocks are going to be spawning. As long as I'm super gluing everything together, I can absolutely decorate this contraption however I wish to. I can make it look like a boat, I can make it look like a zeppelin, I can make it look like a plane. The only downside is that as long as it's a contraption, I can't really access the barrels on it. So I can't actually access the inventories of the contraptions, and I can't really use certain things. Like if I put a windmill on it, the windmill is not gonna spin. However, midway through it being a contraption, I can totally actually put down a cut assembler, depower it, making the entire contraption deassemble, become kind of a temporary base, and I can use anything within it. So my goal here is totally to make a moving base, drive it up to that pier, call Liara up, shoot a TNT cannon at Liara, and use the base to drive off. As long as I can do that, I will be very happy with this contraption. But unfortunately, that will have to wait till the next video. I am so excited to have all of the super cool little entity ships and planes and that kind of stuff that we crafted, but I'm much more excited for my own traveling zeppelin of horror. I can't wait to impress my friends with this. Today on Create, I'm bringing out the big guns. Using none of the Create add-ons that actually make movable bases possible, I want to make a functional battle zeppelin that's gonna fly through the sky, raining dynamite on my enemies. Will I succeed in my endeavors, or did I cleverly Photoshop the footage you're seeing to make it look like the thing is actually moving? Find out in today's video, as we once again enter the world of minecart contraptions. Now, last episode we did something pretty epic. We managed to make a flying machine using Create mechanics with the minecart contraptions. And also a couple flying things from the immersive aircraft mod. That was pretty cool. And today I want to expand that concept and make our automatic autonomous flying machine for Create even more epic. We're gonna make a full entire moving base out of this contraption. But what would that even mean? How do we make this into something that we could actually live in? Well, I have a list of demands. For one, I want to be able to stop this contraption mid-flight. That is very important because only once we actually stop it like this, make it into actual blocks, can we access all the inventories and contraptions and other things within the machine. For two, it is very important to me that I will be able to steer it, because right now I would love to turn around and move that way instead, but check this out, I can't actually do it without making it back into a contraption, picking it up and placing it back down, and that's entirely too much hassle. For three, obviously it needs to have some basic, accommodation for a player, and for four, I wanted to have offensive capabilities. I'm gonna teach it to swear in Russian. No, I actually mean that we will have some guns on it. And I say we will, but I actually have no bloody idea how to actually make that a reality. So, let's try and see, maybe it will work out. It has never worked out for anyone that I would have a gun. So how do we get there? How do we improve on what obviously is already peak of engineering? Well, for one, it helps to make this not happen. You can see here that the slime blocks that it's using for flying have become part of the contraption. That is an issue, because then also the rails and the torches and everything else becomes part of the contraption, and we're actually placing and removing them distinctly to fly. So this, hilariously, will not fly. And the culprit absolutely are just the slime blocks. The slime blocks can distinctly connect themselves to the rest of the machine whenever given an opportunity. But you have to keep in mind, the only reason I'm using slime blocks in the first place is because they are insta-breakable. You can just punch them out. So we could just swap them for a different kind of a block that would be very fast to break. Wait a minute, I hear you ask, as fast as an instant? No, but the trick about the machine as it stands right now is that the slime blocks are not actually being insta-broken. The speed of the machine right now is not limited by the blocks it's standing on, but by the rate at which a plow breaks a railway. Which I thought was also instant, but obviously it is not. So we could easily put something different there as long as we can break it and place it back. So... yeah, let's try that, I guess. Clean all of this out. I'm gonna activate this cut assembler. And here's something that you actually taught me. Turns out, you can use minecart with a furnace instead of a regular minecart for a minecart contraption. So instead of a regular minecart, I'm gonna put a minecart with a furnace in there. This now became a minecart contraption. And if I just give it some charcoal... what? No! No! Stop moving! What? Oh, I placed it the wrong way! I placed it the opposite way, damn it! Alright, my bad. Great success. Let's try it again. Okay, let's try with me actually remembering which direction the thing was placed. These go here, these go there, and if I just push it a little bit, okay, there we go. Now we're talking. Give him back my thing. The thing, that thing, this. Yep, thank you. The real test obviously starts as soon as it moved onto the framed glass, which will be starting. Yep, there we go. And this is not fast. We'll need a different, more breakable material, but even then, truth be told, maybe the slowness at which this thing is moving right now is actually beneficial to us, because this way it's way easier to stop it mid-flight. Which again was one of my demands. After much consideration, I decided to switch to rose quartz lamps, because they are also pretty cool. Oh, and also they break pretty much like this, so it's fine. It's not super fast, but it's definitely about as fast as the machine can break, as long as I can. And just for the giggles, I want to remove this plow real quick. The point here is that I want to see how fast this will go if we don't actually have to break the rail itself. Oh, this is fastery. This is much fastery. I very enjoy. It would have gone even better if I actually bothered to give it some rail also. Now the next improvement is quite fiddly, because we need now to figure out how to make this turn, and I owe it to you folks, because there was a comment that inspired this entire video, and that was a comment that said, hey, you do realize that using regular rails you could probably make it change a direction. Let's try it out and see. The trick ultimately is that we don't know how it's gonna behave once tasked with changing the direction. We can try and rotate it this way, right? And then maybe attempt to add a few more blocks so that we are paving the gap between this and this. And let's just give it a regular rail, because I am a cheapskate. My question is how many things we're gonna basically lose in the way, because the cat has no idea that it's not supposed to keep placing blocks in this particular case. So it will just place blocks on the radius like an idiot. So let's see how much of a disaster that's gonna be. Okay. Up. And we are turning, and we are turning, and we are turning. Did we turn? We did not. Oh god, it's gonna fall. Oh god, it's gonna fall. No, it's not. Well, look at that. It turned out to be smarter than I am. Oh, no, it did. Where is it? Did I sink up? Yep. At this ocean floor. Kinda have an idea on how to maybe fix it. Saying that we're gonna fix it implies that we know what, like, the fixed version would be. And we don't. Hey, look, this one got activated somehow. I wonder how. Oh, you can just right-click them with your wrench to activate or deactivate. That's kind of cute. Okay, check this out. We got this little strip with just a tiny bit of rail and a torch. And we got this machine rapidly approaching, I said, approaching that place. So here we go, flying, obviously flying. No one can say that we're not flying. And once it reaches our little tuning station, look what's gonna happen. Because this is kind of incredible. Okay, the cut is almost there. Hop! Why did you stop? No! You have the rails, right? Don't you? You have the rails, you have the everything. Come on, let me help you a little bit. And there it goes! Having left behind just a bunch of blocks. And a couple torches. Look at it go! We have successfully turned it. Admittedly, that required me to go quite far away, like in front of it. And that's not... I don't think I can execute that kind of a situation, you know, mid-flight. And it sucks, because I would love to be able to turn it mid-flight. You see the situation, right? We can maybe not turn it mid-flight, because I just don't have enough time to, like, place enough blocks for it to turn. But what I can certainly do is I can force it to turn on a station. Meaning that what we could do here is we could set it to fly somewhere and basically cruise control. Yeah! It's gonna just fly on its own until it hit the station, and change its direction. The only problem with that is that it is, yeah, not actually leaving the station behind. Because the nature of the drill is such that it will just drill through the station. And I don't think we can make the station, the machine itself, stop and not demolish the station. But I do think that there is a thing in this game that allows you to place the blocks right back where they used to be. Meaning that what we can do is we can build the machine, send it, as machine passes the station, it demolishes it after itself, and then the station gets reassembled using the deployers. In fact, because the minecart interface, inventory interfaces kind of things exist. You know, the things that we're using to interact with our farms and whatnot. We can even make the machine unload all of the items that it picked up off of the station. This is kind of insane and I love it. So obviously we gotta do it now. Okay, so we can, in theory, eventually change the direction on this machine, so I'm really happy with that. What I do want to do now is I want to expand it in a way where it will not interfere with the main engine, which, yes, meet the main engine, everybody. This is the main engine. Looks stupid? Yeah, I know. Obviously, we will need a bunch of glue for that, but before we get into the exterior decorating our battle zeppelin, I wanna know a couple things, and one of the things I wanna know is if I attach a door to it like this, right? Can it be opened, closed when this thing is activated into a thing? Because that's what I also want to do. Like, oh, that's impressive. At the very least, we get to have doors on our thing. We don't get to open chests, we don't get to open barrels, but we get to have doors and we can make something resembling an actual interior. So I'm really happy. Though I do want to maybe use train doors for it instead. You know, just saying. I feel like a train door is just like, look at this. Obviously this is superior, right? Okay, this I think is gonna be the general room housing the engine. Obviously we want at least another deck where I want to have the battle guns. The battle guns will be kind of complicated, okay? But in the meantime, I've been building out of deep slate and I was like, you know what, this is too rocky. This is a little bit, it's industrial looking, sure, and the lamps definitely help. But then I realized we are playing modded Minecraft and there's such a mod as like industrial decor. So what we can do here is we can craft industrial iron and also cast iron to get our resources, to get different blocks. So cast iron is pretty handy. You get cast iron blocks out of it and you get a couple variants which look really cool. And all you need to do for that is a bit of charcoal, and a single iron ingot. So, obviously we're doing that. But also, turns out there is industrial iron as well. Apparently from the same mod, and it has the prettier trapdoors, from what I can tell. So obviously we'll be using that. We won't be using the padded ones, I don't really feel like that's a good idea, but the trapdoors and the doors and maybe these blocks, I absolutely adore, so obviously I want them. Can I open them without having to provide redstone? No, I cannot. Wonderful, this is useless to me. Okay, this is looking... It's looking alright. It's kind of a box right now, but at the same time, I can totally see the finished version in my mind, and that's incredibly important in this game. I do wonder though, check this out. Picking up the glue and pressing Ctrl, I can't see the entirety of everything connected, everything that is connected highlighted in blue, because we now basically created a kind of a bagel of glue. This area down here, the engine itself, is not at all glued to anything else. And also it's just gonna be really funny seeing this. So here we go, check this out. I'm placing the blocks, but believe you me, the blocks are definitely not gluing themselves to anything. Come on now. Okay, let's make it move, everybody. Also, I will need this, thank you. Alright, get charcoaled and... Okay, we're going. It's hilarious because from our point of view, all that is happening currently is this thing is changing. But in reality, if you step outside real quick, we have successfully took off. We left a little bit of ourselves behind, mind you. But other than that, we are actually moving. This is the maiden flight of my battle zeppelin. I don't know what's in that direction. Maybe we will hit a tree, maybe we won't. Another cool thing is we once again changed the material that the zeppelin is technically riding on. So we're now using moss for it. Moss is pretty cool. It's very easy to break. And we are once again really not limited by the speed of breaking the blocks, we're limited by the speed of breaking the rail. And I wonder if that speed is gonna increase if I feed our minecart a little bit of coal. Yeah, I feel it actually did a little bit. Oh, it looks very inevitable. It is not fast, but it is definitely threatening, with the slow but patient approach. Oh my god, no, I love this, this is great. After much consideration, I finally settled on the color scheme for the entire thing, and if I do say so myself, it's really cool. We got the red terracotta with the kind of a deep slate and cast iron for the cabin down here, but then the balloon of the zeppelin is going to be made out of scorchia, out of cut scorchia, regular scorchia, and polished cut scorchia. It's really good looking. It has such a good kind of a industrial texture of raw or rough metal that it just fits so well. Oh, and by the by, scorchia we basically have an infinite supply of, because scorchia is actually just scoria but with a black ink in the middle. And black ink we can easily get from charcoal. And then scoria itself is actually just cooked soul sand, which I need to remind you, we have a farm for, so yeah, I'll be fine on building materials. But also, the bottom half is probably gonna be a little bit more interesting than even I anticipated originally. You see, I kept teasing that we're gonna put guns on this thing, and my original plan had something to do with this thing called a seed. My original idea was that we will craft a bunch of seeds, put skeletons in them, and then get the skeletons to fire at our enemies. But unfortunately, it just is not a thing, because turns out, if you put something into a seed, and then you pick up the contraption, unfortunately that makes that something pop out of the seed and drop down from the height of your zeppelin, presumably to its doom. But unfortunately, or fortunately, we will have to go a different route. That different route may be only working when the contraption is in not the contraption mode. But even then, I promise, it's gonna be so cool you won't even mind that we can only do it when we're standing still. I just need to figure out something about the bearings, okay? Because I want to give the stupid thing its own little garage that opens. What we need to make this work is a regular mechanical bearing and a sequence gear shift, which honestly makes this entire task so easy I can't actually believe it's in the game. Essentially, this allows us to program a mechanical bearing to not only tune at a particular angle, but also follow the sequence depending on how we want it to tune. So, for example, right now it's gonna tune 90 degrees, so if I click it, then this will vary eventually, because, you know, we're currently using the speed from, what's it called? From some sails down here that I installed as an engine. To very eventually open the gate like this. But more importantly, I don't have to end it this way. What I can do instead, I can tell it to then await a redstone pulse, and if that redstone pulse comes, tune by another angle into the opposite direction. Meaning that what I can do here is I can basically make a garage door that opens up upon the first click, and then after having completed the sequence, receives another signal and closes right back down. This is pretty flippin' awesome, especially for what we're trying to accomplish. Unfortunately, I do not know if it's gonna, you know, drive away with us if I do in fact glue it all together. Because this does kind of rely on, you know, the garage door itself being a kind of a glued together part. Anyway, it don't matter anyway in the first place, unless we can put together the actual thing that I need this to open for. So let's get my obsidian going and let's start the contraption of the riskiest part of this entire invention. Oh yeah, we couldn't put any archers in here, so we're going directly for the TNT cannon. So just for the record, this is what dispensers look in this pack for some bizarre reason, and this is what dynamite looks in it. So we're about to have quite an exciting adventure. I'm just gonna spread this a little bit all over the place. Like, obviously I'm using obsidian for like no good reason at all. I should not be using obsidian because we do want none of the blocks to blow up, but we will be preventing it from blowing up by putting down some water. Here's a trick about that though. You can't super glue water. It's just not a block. So we can't take it with us if we start moving. And that is a big problem for our TNT cannon, because the water will just remain not glued together and it will just remain floating, the water block. We need the propellant, which is the charge, and we need the cannonball. Propellant explodes, launching the cannonball. Somewhere, hopefully, I'm not convinced that it didn't just get destroyed right there. Huh. Okay, either we detonated it like so far away that it didn't even render, or we just disintegrated it somehow, which either of those options make no bloody sense. Seriously, I expected to blow up my own ship. I did not expect, you know, this to happen. Is it even lit in it? Oh my god, yes it is! We just heard it behind us, blow up. Yep, and you saw it leave and it blew up somewhere down there. Even if we're not actually blowing anyone up. This is pretty badass, you gotta admit. Try to, and let's see if this changes anything. This is a pulse repeater and basically is a regular repeater, but it only repeats a pulse from a button. It does, however, come also with the delay, and the delay can be customized by seconds, full flipping seconds. I'm not sure 5 seconds is like the perfect delay between the propellant and the cannonball, but I am willing to try, and I mean, most of the thing here is made out of... Oh god! Oh crap. Yeah, okay, 5 seconds couldn't... 5 seconds definitely was a little bit too long. I'll have to rebuild the entire thing here. Ouch. After much consideration, I decided that maybe I should go for a much more humbler TNT cannon design, so we're using this old reliable. This one doesn't use propellant at all, it actually launches everything using slime blocks. Let's go! And it goes, and we can even see it, and yep, that fish got what it freaking deserved, you know it, you just know it. Why didn't my... What? Oh! We apparently have some sort of a mod that moves dispensers using slime blocks. I genuinely have no way of counteracting that. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm just gonna dispense dynamite from the top. Boink. Oh. Yeah, I deserved that. Okay, after much finagling, I decided to once again come back to water-powered cannons, and yeah, unfortunately, I'm at this point kind of running low on dynamite. So this assembly right here, I think is gonna be the final version of the TNT cannon for the Zeppelin. Come on, come on, come on, come on! And yep, there we go, you heard the second explosion. Cannon, it can. Anyway, close the hatch. All that's left to do now is to make sure that everything is nice and glued together. And yes, I owe you a second TNT cannon, but honestly, after testing them out so much that I ran out of a stack of dynamite, I just wanna see this baby fly, so let's go back into the engine compartment and see that happen. It's all activated, here we go, minecart. And I don't like that sound that it's making. Can you start moving? Oh, oh no! There are too many blocks included in this contraption. The configured maximum is 2048. Oh, that is unfortunate. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, at this point my computer starts lagging if I try to look at this machine. I drop all the frames. Obviously, it's a little bit too big for actual flight. No! And I can't get rid of parts of it. That's not that I can easily disassemble it in the first place, because I mean, come on, look at this. Like, how do you untangle this mess of glue? I genuinely don't know how much of the hull, how much of the like beautiful outer edge of it, outer cylinder is gonna remain if we actually drop it all the way down to the requirement. This actually pains me to do. Come on, man. And I think I just did it. And almost entirely by accident. You know what? Fine. Just to see what kind of a disaster this is. We somehow left behind the windmills. Let's see. We left behind the windmills. And we left behind a good half of the... No! The TNT cannon! We left behind the TNT cannon. And one of the doors, but not both of them. Hold on, can I actually activate the door mid-flight? Is my question. No, I cannot. I don't think redstone, like, buttons and whatnot can be used. Man, what a trip. In the literal sense, but also just in the general sense of pain. And it even still, it is so beautiful to look at. This giant zeppelin moving through the air. It is so incredible. I don't know why the windmills decided to be left behind when clearly the moving contraption components can remain. Like, this door is still here. And that creeper obviously is coming with us. Yeah, obviously if I want this to be a fully functional design, I have to iron out a few quirks. And one of those quirks is definitely, certainly, making sure that it actually fits within the parameters. I get that you can, in theory, just expand the limit of like the biggest contraption possible, but it would be much easier and much nicer to just make the contraption smaller. That being said, even just moving with this thing is quite the experience. I really love this feeling of being on a moving vehicle that's like big and nice and kind of a train. Just the sense of piloting it, you know, it's there's nothing like it. But enough joyriding. There we go. I managed to stop it. Not with any kind of precision, but it's the fact that it stopped that counts. And there we go. That might have been the perfect ending to this video. I don't like to post things defined by failure, but it is really funny that every single thing, more or less, that I tried today ended up with me being blown up or otherwise destroyed. And now all my loot is who knows how far away. Me there on a floating vehicle. I mean, at least it's not getting any further. Last time on Create we made an epic flying skyship. It is not fast, but it is definitely threatening. Is it even living? No! The TNT cannon! Left behind the TNT cannon! And today on Create we're gonna once again make something that moves, and something that moves interestingly. After all this time, I am finally getting to my first ever Create train. And it's not even gonna be a train. Oh, don't worry, we'll do the bogies, we'll do the stations. But when you see what I'm using the train technology for, I promise it's gonna blow your mind. But first we're gonna go get the actual contraptions, because I ended last episode by dying in it. There it is, my trash fire of a zeppelin. Let's go home, sweetie. We're too beautiful for this world. Ah! I'm gonna let the remnants of this trash fire of an invention kind of chill in the air for the time being. I promise I'll clean it up some other time, but today, we're gonna get into more moving contraptions. I'm sure you are very excited given, you know, the aftermath. Essentially, I was thinking, I made a contraption that goes on rail and turns at previously determined times. I essentially made a train. So what if today we just actually went and made some trains, you know, actual trains from the create mode. That being said, if you think that the result of today's shenanigans are gonna be a train, you are gravely mistaken. We actually don't really have anywhere to go from this island, and we don't really have anywhere to go on this island, so it's gonna be kind of fascinating one way or another, but first and foremost, let's get the mechanics ironed out. What do we need to make a train? Well, for one would assume the train track. And one would assume correctly, because you actually do need a train track and a train station before you can make the train itself. The recipe is pretty straightforward. I'm afraid that we're gonna have to make this one a little bit more manual than I would like. Undeploy cogs and start deploying zinc nuggets. And whoo boy was I smart by letting my andesite alloy factory also produce andesite and not just the andesite alloy. Who would have thunk it? You know, I genuinely just did this for giggles. And here it goes. However, taking forever, kind of. Yeah, I figure we should feed the blazes downstairs. Oh, they don't stack. Oh, they don't stack. I'm gonna borrow this real quick. Congratulations, you are now at rail press. Now here's the cool thing about the rails and the way rails are placed and create. You can pretty much track it. You don't have to place every single one individually. You very much can track it all the way where you need to, and what's more importantly, you can bend it. You can bend it in a few exciting ways. However, yeah, it is still a little bit fiddly. On one hand, yeah, these kind of like smooth transitions, they are super pretty, and they are kind of annoying to be honest, because this train track cannot do sharp edges. We actually really like the unsharp edges here. We really want these trains to turn smoothly because of what we're gonna use the track for. But before any of that can actually get into position, we need to put together the actual rail. So let's do that. The actual train, I mean. Let's get that going. I'm pretty sure that we need a train station for that. So it's just a train casing with a compass. I probably can't afford that. And I like how it comes in like packs of 2 immediately. That's pretty cool. Also, if we want this to go smoothly, we will need some train casings. And this... Ooh, yeah. It requires a sturdy sheet made of obsidian powder with lava in it. So, this is gonna be a little bit fiddly here. Let's see if we can actually afford that. Damn it, Enderman, stop leaving ground everywhere. Come on, dudes. I mean, ground up obsidian and lava, obviously no big deal. We have a farm for that. I love that we have a farm for that. I'll forever cherish our lava farm. And obsidian itself, I'm not gonna lie, I actually have no bloody idea where we got so much obsidian powder, but I remember getting it early season and never coming back for it for some reason. Let's see. Can we use the same thing that we're using for train tracks for other purposes? Of course we can. It's the same conveyor belt, seriously. I should really add some kind of receptacle in here, because otherwise things will just keep rolling. Okay, Robert Obsidian, get down here and get squished at. And we got an unprocessed obsidian sheet, which we do need to still go and put into a press. Well, luckily there is one, so... Oh my god, you're slower than molasses. Whoosh! Shout out to people in the comments who told me that you can actually feed blazes with lava as well. This is really useful. And you please poke that onto some casings. Yep. Wonderful. One day we'll assemble something that does all of this automatically. Right now, I just want to see a train. I just want to find out what a train looks like. Joke's on you. The train is gonna look like whatever I say it will, because that's how this game works. We actually make trains. Okay, it does say create a new trains here, so let's see. Use train casing on highlighted track to create bogies. Remove bogies by breaking block on top. Do I... Oh! Behold! I have made a bog. That is nice, and it is already glued on the side. So from what I understand, we can get this assembled by pressing this button. But unfortunately, if we do that right now, I don't think we're gonna get actually anything out of this train, because it doesn't even have any controls or an engine or something like that. Are the bogies already at the engine? I have no idea. There is something called train controls, and it requires a precision mechanism and a lever, but am I out of precision mechanisms? Will I have to go and fiddle and grind another dozen of those? Ooh. Man, good thing I made that gold farm. I'm pretty sure that it barely produced any shits, but you know, it's a good thing I made it. You know, it really feels like this entire thing has been building up to something like this. It's almost as if trains are the pinnacle of engineering in this steam age of commerce. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot entirely what I was doing. Right, train controls, precision mechanism, train casing, and a lever. Do I have those things? I'm short a stick. And a few brain cells, obviously. We got them! Is this the minimum amount of things I need to have to actually be able to ride a train? Okay, I'm gonna stick this here. I'm gonna stick this here, and I'm gonna try and add the train controls. Everything's connected. Let's try assembling this thing. Assembly failed. At least one forward-facing controls block needs to be mounted on the train. Yeah, it's cool and all, but it is. Okay, there we go. Now it's miraculously done. Goose, and now controlling unnamed train. I did a goat knee, everybody! This is great! Look at that! It lets out a little bit of steam every time it stops. Oh, you get the full effect and everything. Okay, let's pull out at the station real quick. Okay, we're gonna hold space to approach this truck station. There we go, we arrived at it. And now we can disassemble train. Oh, okay, there we go. It doesn't just need to stand on it. I need to actively be there. I need to actively press space to actually approach the contraption, yada yada. Now though, we can actually redo the entire thing. The question now is, will I be able to do what I want with it? Or can the rails not go underwater? If you're smelling what I'm cooking already, then congratulations, you have some sort of a superhuman Zloy sense, but we're on the same page. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, it is... Can connect? Does connect? Did connect? Look at that. Wowzers! Now, can a train go underwater? That is a very important thing for me today. Okay, turns out we can actually relocate the train by right-clicking it with a wrench and then right-clicking it here. So, even between these connected tracks, we can actually relocate. The question is, can we drive it into the freaking ocean? Let's go! So stupid, and yet... Oh, okay, a carriage has reached the end of the track. Wonderful. It didn't care. The only reason I fell off of the track is because I wasn't sitting in a seat, and so the water pushed me off. This is brilliant. This is exactly what I want. Because this entire time, I'm gonna reveal to you the trick about today's video. I was not working on a train. I was working on a ship! Psych! My goal for today is not to actually build my first train. Well, actually to build my first train. But also, my goal for today is to make a ship. Some sort of vessel that goes all the way around the island. Ideally circling it purely for decorative reasons, but maybe then we'll figure out some way to use it also for transporting materials. I really want my own steamboat, Willy! Since, you know, the flying boats ended up so freaking great. First and foremost though, we'll need more rail. Temporary rail machine assembled. What are we gonna do while this poor horse is getting its job done? Well, we gotta figure something out. For one, we need to decide what is the actual height at which we're gonna make our rail through the island. Now, from what I understand, rails are 3 blocks wide, but they don't have to be, do they? You can pretty much place blocks to the left and to the right of the middle line, or so I think. Then again, this might not be the best example, given that we're doing this entirely underwater. Will the train pass through this? Yeah, it will. Pretty easily. Okay, dope. We are cooking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna disassemble this train real quick. And we're gonna start working on it once again. Remove all this, remove all that, and for our purposes right now, for just the demonstration, I'm gonna put on my jetpack and 1, 2, 3. What I'm gonna do is grab a bunch of andesite casing just for the demonstration purposes, and I'm gonna make this little clumsy contraption, clumsy board on top of this thing. Tell you what, I'm even gonna go a little bit further. I'm gonna just, okay, that's not how I wanted it to place. And of course the train controls up here, and everything needs to be all glued together. So why are we going out of our way to put together something so stupid and ugly, I hear you ask? And the answer is because I'm kind of lost, okay? As a person, get at the carriage contraption and F5. And I'm gonna... Whoop. Okay, we left that. Hold on. So now we assemble this train. We get up to the controls. And it's not gonna look like much, but it is gonna look like exactly what I wanted to. Oh god, I'm falling off. I'm falling off, oh no! Oh no! I really should put a seat on this. I really do. And I miscalculated the height of the bogie. I forgot that the bogie also needs to be counted. No! I swear, there gotta be easier ways to steal from Disney. Okay, this better work. Assemble train, fly all the way here, take out the jetpack, won't need it. And, let's go! This is so dumb. And whoop! And look at that! Look at it! Doesn't it look like we're sailing? Not swimming, mind you. Yep, we're gonna build a decorative boat that's secretly attached to a rail track down below the whole thing. You can barely see the rail track already, so if we just put it a couple blocks deeper, it's going to be perfect. And the best part, the entire boat is already designed. Do you know how? Remember when we were building this ship, the airship that's hanging over the entire town? Oh no! To prove the power of the flex tape, I split my ship in half! Yeah, when I was doing that, I glued it all together, and that was pretty cool. But that also confirmed that I can glue it all together. That it is a gluable contraption that doesn't use too many blocks. But naturally, I'm not just gonna pull down the entire Zeppelin, disassemble the boat and put it on a rail. That would be ridiculous. I love this boat. I want it to stay here. What I can do, however, is build a second one, exactly like that. And when I say exactly like that, I don't even mean like, oh, just similar or whatever. No, I can literally go up there and take a copy of this and put it right here, without any cheats and in survival and getting actual resources spent. Because in create mode there is such a thing as a schematica built in. Check this out. This is a schematic and quill, and you can save a structure into it by simply kind of selecting it, using the same logic as the glue. So if I wanted to have a copy of this house, I would just first position says, fly up here, second position set, and voila! We saved this entire thing. Can we name it? Absolutely. Andesite shop. Save it into our thing, and it's now saved as andesiteshop.mbt. Now look at this. What we can now do is we can grab a schematic onto this page. And as soon as it is done, eventually, we can grab it and we can move it around within the space. You see this giant square? Yep! Here I'm right clicking and it creates a ghostly image of the schematic of whatever it is I was trying to build. Look at it, it even copied the flint conveyor belt for some stupid reason. Isn't it beautiful? Even the create elements, even modded blocks, all get saved within the schematic, and this is incredibly helpful. Because now what we can do is we can fly all the way up there, select 2 spots around our beloved ship, and copy the entire lower part of it. Naturally, we'll have to be a little bit more careful about this, because, you know, the original doesn't really have enough blocks here and there for us to be able to encase all of it in it. So we can add some temporary blocks specifically to help with the corners. But other than that, we can take a schematic of this ship pretty easily. And then we can pretty easily, once again, get it copied. There is even such a thing as schematic cannon, which is a beautiful contraption that will just build a schematica in the world for you. I won't have to do everything myself, I'll just give it all the materials, and from there on, it'll just blast them into submission. But the problem with that is that that actually requires gunpowder. So the next episode, we can put together the nice ship and put it on the water. So look, our next task is to put rails underwater, and working underwater is a headache even before you get into the trident wielding drowns. So we have to do something to remedy that, and luckily Create provides. We will need generally just 3 items here today. First one is the copper backpack, and this is what it looks like. Well, copper back tank. When fully charged, it is basically a container of pressurized air. Which means that if we get ourselves a diving helmet like this, we can put that on and use it to move around. We will have to surrender a jetpack, mind you, but in exchange, here underwater, we will have 12 flipping minutes. And basically like night vision? Like, look at it! I can see so clearly thanks to the diving helmet. And also I look incredibly good in my personal opinion. I actually really like this armor set. There is one more thing that we might wanna, and that is the diving boots, which helps move underwater a little bit. The thing about it is that it is basically the boots that make you sink. Like, these are cement shoes, don't get me twisted. But On the other hand, it switches the movement of the underwater kind of exploration back to a very normal, very casual like kind of mode. We will be primarily working at the bottom of the ocean, so this is really good for us. That being said, I want to lower that rail track somewhere around here-ish, and I want to create some sort of trajectory for our ship to follow around the island. So we get to do this nice roundabout way, like this extra hook. It's going to be really cool seeing our ship kind of go into the distance and then go back. Even if the trajectory is going to be completely flipping useless and it's ultimately pretty silly. Like, why is this boat circling the island? Come on, just land already somewhere. Speaking of really silly, I've been desperately trying to swim up for the past 2 minutes and I've been failing at it because I have the diving boots on. Like, I distinctly crafted them specifically for this. And so most of the rail is done, and drumroll, I'm not actually gonna edit in the drumroll, we got a new boat! Because honestly, I needed to extend the length, because the new rail is like full 7 blocks lower and deeper than the previous rail. That way it's just completely unnoticeable from afar. And, you know, while I was recombobulating the train, I decided, you know, might as well put together this and that, and so out of curiosity I'm gonna name the assembled train, I guess. For some reason it's unnamed. Oh, I can name it right here. Doesn't need to be disassembled at all. Steamboat William. Copyright pending. Wait, hold on, I'm an idiot. I forgot to attach the seat. And Steamboat William Maiden Voyage. Yeah, the reason I wanted the seat is because it allows you to F5 much further away and get a much nicer look at everything. So if I just press forward now, oh my god, we completely lost the nose of the boat! How? You think anyone's gonna notice? It's not that bad. Oh my god, and I get the conductor hat whenever I'm on it. That is so cool. That is such a neat detail. Anyway, let's get out of here. This is the life. This is the best. Oh, the town is coming out of the render distance and then back in. And we're driving by. And we're about to... Oh, was there seriously a drop in elevation? No, I swear I got everything right. It's okay, we sank a little and it's fine, the cargo will leave. Yep, there it is. For no heckin' reason. The boat does look a little bit toy-like, so I will be swapping it for... Oh god, I killed something by driving over it with a train. I was saying, the boat is not quite done, it's not the final, but I love how it looks, so it's already an achievement. And we will be swapping it for something else and something much more exciting and something that will circle our island automatically, which is very important to me because it's going to be really cool just watching the boat pass. You know, just pretending to maybe unload something. Maybe I'll have a little bit of a bridge driving from here, like lowering down here and onto the boat when the boat is going to be a little bit higher. We'll see about that. Right now, look at that. Today in Create, it's not your grandpa's creeper farm. Your grandpa's creeper farm probably would have worked much better. We have this mod that has creeper children in it, so we'll be harvesting the creeper children to make gunpowder, so we can shoot blocks in the form of a ship and then ride that ship around our island. People think using light magicka is cheating. This is straight up, I'm not even doing anything, the building just appears. Also, I'm happy to introduce you to the newest employee of the island company. Everybody, this here is Michert Ratus, the newest in the boat operators, because guess what? The boat is actually a train, and in Create you can actually put somebody in a seat, like be it a zombie or another mob, and you can give them one of these train schedules, which they will then follow. So this boy over here is driving the Steamboat William all the way around the island, stopping in 2 spots exactly. One is somewhere down here, and another one is somewhere like around here, which is the last place where he killed me also. Because somehow, despite being the conductor, you know, still hurts. Still, wop. That's a, no! Ah! Okay, yeah, I am so confused about what just happened there. Apparently, I dismounted him by right-clicking the seat under it. I like how the error message about it is like, driver has gone missing. That's not what happened. We just are very bad at it. Hey, can you please, yep, there we go. Please do not leave until I actually have had my stuff recovered. Yes, that does mean that it's stopping in the middle of nowhere, takes 5 seconds and then leaves again. Listen, I need at least 2 stations apparently to make him go in circle. Now, last episode I promised that we'll get rid of this and swap it for a much nicer, much beautifuler, much bigger ship. And I don't want to swap it necessarily. I actually kind of feel like we should leave this boy run around. But we will be building a separate boat today. And by building, I don't actually mean building. We will actually be delegating the building to this contraption here. A really cool thing called schematic cannon. It's just 2 blocks of iron, a dispenser and some stone around it. How do I still not have a stone factory is beyond me. I have a cobblestone one, I have like 3 different ones. So, what's up with this schematic cannon thingy? Well, it's an apparatus that we need to provide a schematic to, and then, as long as we are also given it all the resources it needs, it will build the schematic for us. So, here's the schematic table, and here's a schematic that has my andesite shop on it. I currently have it placed over here. And obviously that's not where I actually want to build it, but that, you know, worry not, it's fine. Right now it can't build it anyway because it's out of gunpowder. And even if I do provide it with some gunpowder, if I have any, it still won't build because, well, it needs to also know a checklist. And we got a checklist printer here, so we can get a book and get a checklist of all the materials needed for this build. Would a book and quill work? Nope, only regular one. And now, thanks to this written book that the cannon somehow outputted, we know exactly how much of what and how we need. Which, yes, I'm pretty sure in a more modern create versions, we would have a whole entire cool thing going on, where it'd be like an actual checklist, where we could tick the boxes and everything. And also I will not be building this andesite shop because I don't actually need it. The thing that we want to build is the basket of that there ship up there in the sky. So first we will need to get up there somehow and get a schematica of it. Thank crap for my jetpack. A schematic exists basically made out of 2 points. One is the lowest most, or the other one is the highest most, and everything in between is gonna be encased in the schematica, meaning that we not only need to extend here as low as possible, but oh, maybe this would have been easier if I wasn't using slime blocks. Oh look, it's my Ratus. There it goes. I love this mod, it's so cool. Okay, first position set. We do not need any of these, and yep, it keeps the position, so we can actually go ahead and just break all of them. And the second position is going to be right exactly here. And now I can save this as ship basket 0000 just in case. And if we can find our schematic table inside of our giant factory, then I'll be able to, oh, there it is. I'll be able to grab this. Nope. That's not what I meant. And get the ship basket schematic applied to it, written onto that particular blueprint. Oh wow, it's way longer than I anticipated. Okay, let's do it somewhere away from the thing, or from where we need it to actually be. Because truth be told, it's fine if it is. Because we will not actually be using it here. We will be gluing it all together, and as a contraption, moving all the way onto a completely different contraption and making it sneakily later into a train. So right now this here boat is non-corporeal, it does not actually exist, but it will once the schematic cannon has its way with it. So let's feed the schematic cannon this particular blueprint and see how it goes. And we get a list of materials, and obviously We need to provide it now with gunpowder, which I'm actually a little bit short on. A little bit is not the right word for it. I'm completely out. Yeah, testing our TNT cannons a couple episodes ago, I ended up wasting all of our gunpowder on it, which is a little bit upsetting, but don't worry about it. I got a plan on where to get more gunpowder. I mean, obviously we're gonna get it from creepers, but sneakier than one might expect. So this here is from the mod called Savage and Ravage, and these are creeper spores. You see, when a creeper is blown up by an explosion, the creeper drops not only gunpowder, but also the creeper spores. And then, once you right-click the creeper spores, something incredibly adorable happens.
Whoa!
That's right. These are my personal army of creepies. And what creepies do is they kind of behave more or less like temporary pets. Very temporary, because as soon as I try to attack something, they will also attempt to attack it and blow themselves up. And also each other. And also I'm being chased by a grizzly bear now. That's an issue. And yeah, that's cool and all, but here's a thing about these creepies. A thing that we need to take advantage of. They can last quite a while, and within 20 minutes, they will become full-size adult creepers. Meaning all of the consequences of them being full-size adult creepers. Yep, they will attack you and they will destroy you. So, fun! In the meantime, I can get them to blow up this guy. Oh, that's pathetic. You could do so much better. There we go. That's my boy. And look, we don't even need to separate. We don't need to choose. We can just blow a creeper up and we get both the spores and the gunpowder anyway. So, if we were to somehow automate the tiny creeper harvesting process, we'd get both spores and the gunpowder. Basically exponentially, right? We know how to harvest them, we do have the hoppers to pick all the loot up, we can sort the loot into a gunpowder pile and the spore pile, and we then can use the spores to make more tiny creepers. The only question is, can we do that automatically? So here's a dispenser, and here's the creeper spores. Yep.
What?
That is remarkable! What a distance! Also, I don't think they're gonna be up. Yep, nope. They're coming right for me. Yeah, they are not aware that I'm their dad, probably. Yep, they're not aware that I'm their dad. They will try to kill me now because the dispenser is the one that actually made them. Ah! But other than that, I can absolutely not see how this can go sideways. If anything, this is gonna be one of my safer contraptions. Okay, so here's my plan. We are gonna spawn the creepies into this, because we need to somehow separate the tiny creepies from the big creepazoids. We'll be using the tried and true method of basically transparent blocks that are the gates, and then we'll be covering them with water. That way, if you are a tiny creepy, let's pretend that we are. Oh god, it applies the color first. That is so new. Okay, cool. So, if you are a tiny creepy, you are down here, so you have no way of getting upwards. But then, as soon as you grow up, you become 2 blocks tall. Creepers aren't actually 2 blocks tall, they're like a little bit shorter than 2 blocks. As soon as a creepy grows up, it will be head face into water. And when mobs are head face into water, they start jumping. Meaning that the creepers will start floating onto this water, bobbing kind of like this. And then after they do, we're giving them a couple more layers of this just to ensure that all the tiny ones stay down there and only the big ones make it up. And then we will basically water pushing them all the way sideways to drop them off and, you know, have them killed in a kill chamber. It's gonna be really exciting. And it's gonna be very vanilla, and oh my god, when the world is not painfully green, it's so much more pleasant to look at. And I made a stupid. This box that I created is 9 by 9, and Minecraft water when spilled only goes 8 blocks. That being said, I don't think it's gonna be much of an issue. I think we still can kind of push all the creepers out of this box later using regular fan. I'm sure there's gonna be other much more, you know, horrifying issues with this farm though, so Look forward to that instead. Okay, this should suffice. I still need to install the fence, and we do need to create some sort of a chamber to collect and kill adult creepers. But until then, I do want to dispense a couple of these boys using a dispenser, just to see if that's gonna work out at all. Ah, look at him! Look at him, little guys. Yeah, they're so cute. Can't wait to murder them. So, yeah, I got 4 more. Let's go. Oh, look at them. Look at the little army. Okay, I'm gonna add a couple more. I mean, I will have to be a little bit more careful now, because they are already chasing me, and there's no way they're chasing me to hug. There's very little chance of them actually, you know, getting out of the enclosure. And also, I'll be fine. I'll just be very careful as I build up the adult creeper processing unit. Which I now realize I only have 20 minutes to do before because that's when they're gonna start growing up and exploderating me. Huh, I should have thought this through a little bit better. Oh, and another cool thing about doing this farm this way is all of the tiny creepies still, even though nobody actually owns them, count as someone's pet. Meaning that I can go as far away from the island as I want, and the creepies will keep existing there. They will not despawn. Generally, yeah, I don't expect this to be as fast as even regular vanilla creeper farm, you know, the black box spawning one, but I do like that it will be more or less self-sustaining and not require any player interaction. Oh, there's been developments. There's been developments. I didn't even get to add all the fans before the creepies, they started doing their thing. If anything, this is gonna be one of my safer contraptions. And here's the thing. You see all those creepers that are like outside of the machine? Like decidedly not where they're supposed to be. That is an issue, but also that is not an issue with my design. That is an issue with the mode. So, what I didn't know and couldn't have predicted is that when the creepies grow up, they have an opportunity, let's put it that way, to phase through a wall that they're standing next to. Meaning that they don't just grow up, they actually more or less swap themselves for an actual creepers, and that creeper might phase through a wall! Ah! Which is exactly how you end up in this situation. Oh boy, that's a lot of potential gunpowder! Just walking around my town. Ah, no, don't chase me! Now, in all fairness, the same mod that makes the creepers look like this is the same mod that makes it so that when the creepers blow up, they don't really destroy terrain, unless they are deep in the caves. It's the logic that I more or less understand. But I still wouldn't like to take a full blast of this many creepers to my face. Actually, we don't need to despawn them, do we? Oh, yeah, baby! That's an opportunity. Alright. Okay. This is a happy little accident, let's put it that way. Because I wanted, originally, to blow up the creepers with dynamite. To make them produce the spores. But this incident actually reminded me of something very, very important and very, very cool. You see that pile of creepers? I just realized how we can get rid of all of them all at once. This is going to be the system that we'll be utilizing in the future. Check this out. If I just make myself a little sparse and I sneak up on them. No, that's not what I meant. Ah, that's not what I meant. But it is what I meant. The creepers, they can't be influenced by just lighting them with a flint and steel, which makes them explode. So we don't even need to make just like a giant conveyor belt to create dynamite. We can just simply apply the flint and steel to one creeper out of the bunch, and that will make it explode all its friends and drop the delicious spores and gunpowder. Oh, this is just great. This is wonderful. Ah! And I need to stop dying for like at least 10 seconds. Oh my god. Okay, after that disaster of a harvest, we did end up with a tally of spores and gunpowder nevertheless. So we got 38 gunpowder, which is not much, and we got 64 freaking creeper spores, which is much actually. So this is viable-ish. It's at least at the rate that I'm okay having it. The primary concern here is that the creepies cannot be by a wall of the machine while they are growing up. And I'm not entirely sure that that's something that we can do But maybe what we could do is lower the floor. This is so dumb. Make the floor a little lower and cover the floor in water. Water streams pushing the creepies away from the corners of the machine. This should help with the entity cramming as well. You know, the issue when if more than 24 entities are in this one block, they kinda start dying. We don't want having that. And hopefully, because of the sheer size of the initial spawning chamber, we'll be able to spawn in a lot of creepies all at once, so that waiting for them to grow up becomes a little bit less of an issue. Right now, we are at, I don't know, 38 gunpowder per what, half an hour? So that's 1 gunpowder a minute. This is just inconsolable rates. This is just sad. Oh, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening! The creepies became the creepered! The creepers are supposed to go into this hole here. I somehow forgot to put any water in that place. Wow! But hey, they're finding their way there anyway, so that's kind of... Woo! That's kind of cool. Okay, so what did we just learn? The flint and steel pointed at a creeper with a deployer will explode it. So that's not an issue at all. And did that second creeper friend drop? Yep, it dropped some spores. So we are now officially in business. Can I put this water? I cannot, but I can probably lure these idiots all the way here. Yep, to drop down, get activated, and get bloated up. We just now need some sort of an automated way of transporting the gunpowder to where I can pick it up, and the spores all the way up to the dispenser. But also we need to figure out how many spores are we comfortable with spawning all at once within this farm. So I'm gonna start with a dozen. Let's see how that goes. Okay, 10 button presses later, and this is looking very promising. Only 2 creepies ended up being in the second layer. 3, 4, yep, they are somehow pushing each other up. Which is, again, not a problem, because they can't get any higher without either me motivating them, which is what's happening right now, or them growing up. So what I'm learning here is that 10 charges might actually not be enough. Let's spawn in more. Maybe it's time for a stress test. Here you go, have a stack of this stuff. What is the range on these tiny bastards? How are they tracking me all the way from up here? Oh dear god, this is... wow. This is somehow worse than the machine is supposed to do. Yeah, I feel that I need to change my deployment strategy. Because I'm pretty sure that what's happening right now is the spores, as they're being shot, they hit the tippy tops of the heads of all the other tiny creepers, and so the next batch spawns on top of the first one. Is this gonna work from a side? Ooh, look at that! That's so lively! I love it! Hey, how did you get out? A little bit too lively. Actually, no, that's... If anything, this is gonna be one of my safer contraptions. Alright, so what I'm realizing now is that these little suckers appear to not function the way they're supposed to. I went with the assumption that they are a block tall, or maybe just even a little bit less than a block. But obviously here, they are somehow able to phase into the higher levels, despite obviously not being able to reach it. One option here is that they are phasing upwards, specifically because the water allows them to sometimes get to be higher than they're supposed to be. So the very same thing that's preventing them from phasing through the wall miraculously is also allowing them to phase upwards and just go through the farm as if they're adults. I don't understand how that works, because you just saw that the hitbox of these boys are way smaller than the, you know, the regular creeper. So how did this boy get up there? I have no idea. But with smaller amounts of creepies, I am actually getting a surprisingly sustainable amount of harvest. So maybe less is more in this particular case. After all, in my big batch, what happened is one big creeper blew up just every single tiny one, and tiny ones don't drop any loot, so I got cheated out of significant amount of gunpowder there. So while this prototype is doing whatever it is doing now, I actually can't get to the next stage of our main project, because guess what? the prototyping did in fact yield 60 gunpowder. And that doesn't sound like much, but hey, look at this. That's plenty. That is 23,000 blocks that this thing can now shoot. We just need to give it a nice chest to draw material from. Love me a nice chest. And for some reason it immediately decided to start with the slime blocks. And now it wants the dark oak. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. I should probably go check the checklist. I need like 5 of these, just firing, but actual explosive at actual people. And we're about to be completely done. I did not move a finger to build this. This is incredible. I mean, yeah, I did have to fetch it items all the times. And half the time, the items for some reason were specifically like oak trapdoors. I don't know. Apparently, I just can never craft enough of them. Right now, it wants a net rope, and I think that I'm just gonna... Honestly, just looking around, I'm just gonna tell it to not, you know? Like, what if I just abort any and all future building? Be like, hey, darling, no, we don't need that anymore. You can go home. You can go here. I'll pick all of this up sometime later. Right now, I wanna pick up something much more bigger and much more exciting. We got the entire ship done! Wow! I mean, yes, we do not have still the sails, which is not entirely the best, but also maybe I won't even want sails on this ship for the time being, because, well, we do want it to be a little bit more industrial looking. The trick there, of course, is that we already have the, you know, the pirate sign on the back. So maybe industrial look is just not gonna happen. The most important part really is, let's see if we can pick it up in the first place. I don't think that 18 charges of this glue stick is gonna be enough to put together this whole entire thing. And also, Steamboat William somehow went missing. What the heck happened there? He's missing. Obviously. Alright, I think I glued it all together. I don't see any obvious holes at the very least. So let's see if I can get this show on the road. Boats don't go on roads. Heh! Oh, okay. Fair enough. It's not like we needed those, but this is a cabin on the nose. Yeah, we probably needed that. Okay, now it should all be packaged up, yoinked, and yeah, me figures that all of these like remaining blocks we can absolutely put together at a later time. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Look at it! It ended up being on the exact level! On the exact level with the shore. Let's see how it looks from the side, because... No, absolutely. It is not where you don't want it to be. It is definitely up. Like, you look at this, you don't immediately go, this should be lower in the water, which is what I was afraid of. This is literally a dream coming true. Like, if you rewatch the entire series, I'm pretty sure that first or second episode, I say that I want to build a really cool ship, just going around this thing, going around the island, stopping every now and again. And now we've did it. Alright, let's see, can we finally assemble this into a train? Yes! I'm gonna name it the ship, because it is the ship. Ah, and let's see, can I pilot it? Yes! Oh, my big boy! And we immediately crashed into the other train. Cool. Cool, wonderful. I forgot that we had the tiny boat. Where is it though now, is my question. I think it's inside us. It's my first ever train collision, so good job everybody. Literally happened exactly the moment. Like, as soon as I got the second train, I collided it with the first one. I am somewhat proud of myself, to be completely honest with you. Now, obviously the coolest thing is going to be having two of the trains successfully circle the island without interfering with one another, because we got something really beautiful going. And I will need to modify this design anyway, by the way. I will have to add like an engine, maybe some water wheels, some way for this to propel itself more industrially around the island. And of course I'll need a new steamboat William. Rest in peace Mychart Ratus. He was frustrating. And in the meantime we also got ourselves a very wonky but hilarious source of gunpowder, which I need to provide more flint and steel for. If you got any ideas or suggestions on how to make this a little bit more viable and make a little bit more sense, do leave them in the comments. I am genuinely stumped as to why any of the creepers are getting out or getting between the layers.